Empty Drum, written by Leo Tolstoy. The story starts off when a peasant meets another woman outside of town, and after talking for a little bit, they decide to get married, and they do it inside the town, and then they live outside of it. One day, the king of the kingdom comes over in his carriage and passes by the peasant's house and sees the peasant's wife. He has a conversation with her and then asks why she married the peasant, and she says that I really feel happy with him and that I don't care if he's a peasant. I'm happy where I am. But the king doesn't accept that because she's really beautiful and really wants her as his wife. And so he asks his council to think of some ideas to get her, and they think of trying to get the peasant to work as hard as he can so that he dies and that the king can marry her. So the next day, the king asks the peasant to come and work, and the council gives him all these ideas to work on, and every day he would get more and more work, but he would always finish it before sunset, and he'd always have time to go back home and spend time with his wife, which made the king really unpleasant. So one day the king decided to make the peasant build a cathedral for him in one day. And when the peasant heard about this, he told his wife and asked her to flee with him because this would kill him for sure. And she said the soldiers would find us either way. So let's just eat your supper and go to bed, and we'll figure it out tomorrow. So the next day, she wakes him up early in the morning and says half the cathedral is finished, just build the rest. And the peasant goes out and finishes the cathedral, and the king gets really mad about this. Then the next day, he asks him to build a wharf and a river around his castle with ships sailing in it. And then the peasant knows that he would be dead if he doesn't finish this task because it's a really big one. And he goes to his wife again and says that this task is too hard, I will surely die, and that we should leave before anything happens. And the wife again says that the soldiers will find us no matter where we go. So just eat your supper and go to bed. And then the next morning, the river is all finished. There's ships sailing in the river. All the peasant needs to do is build a wharf. And when he finished, it was like nighttime. And the king sees him, like his wharf finished, and he gets really mad. So he gets a task for him, something really impossible, that you should find something there, and it doesn't have a description, so it could be anything. And if the peasant doesn't find what he wants, he can just say that no, it's not, and kill him. So when that happens, the peasant goes to his wife and says that I will be dead for sure because it's a really impossible task and he gave me no description for it. So the wife tells him to go north into the woods to find the grandma of all soldiers and to ask her for help. So she sets him on his journey and goes into the forest and finds her, the grandma, and explains the story of what's been happening. And she tells him to go to a city that's near the sea side, and to stay there for a night, and the next morning you will find something that will control kids and will make them listen more than their parents. So when he travels there and stays a night, he's staying in this like cabin, and there's these two parents with a kid, and the kid hears this sound outside, and he doesn't listen to his parents, which is the item that the peasant's been looking for. He looks outside, and it's a drum, and it's an empty one. So when you like hit it, it makes a sound. So he takes that drum, goes back to the kingdom, and he goes to the king and starts banging on the drum, and the king's soldiers all come and listen to the drum, not the king. So he's basically controlling the king's army, which is the king's prized possession. And then the king decides to let his wife go so that only in exchange for the drum. But when the peasant like gets back his wife, he breaks the drum in the wharf, and the soldiers all scatter, leaving the kingdom. So they live happily ever after. The moral of the story is that if you try to take something that's not yours, and you want it really bad, you will have something that is the most important thing to you taken away as well. Thank you.